You know, everyone's talking about Baby Yoda in the new Mandalorian show, but did anyone realize that this is the first time we've ever seen an actual human toilet in Star Wars? Yo, what is up, guys, and welcome back to McGady's Entertainment. I'm your host, as always, Adam McGady. So this past Friday, my family and I finally got a chance to check out that brand new The Mandalorian show on Disney+. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's a brand new Star Wars show that premiered with the launch of the Disney streaming service, and it's all about a bounty hunter called the Mandalorian who goes on bounties across the universe and tracks down different people, different items, and so far this show has been absolutely phenomenal. Ever since I was a little kid, I have absolutely loved Star Wars. If it wasn't for Darth Vader, I actually would not be into the series at all. I believe at our one local store, Boscov's, when I was a child, I saw a toy of Darth Vader for the very first time when I was just a little kid, and I begged my mom to get me that toy. And I don't even think I knew what Star Wars was at the time. I just thought Darth Vader just looked so cool. Probably because I was into Power Rangers at the time, and I think he kind of looked like a bad guy from Power Rangers, thus why I wanted him. And that just honestly just kicked off my love for Star Wars. So for as long as I can remember, I have always loved Star Wars. I love the original trilogy. I liked 4, 5, and 6, the original trilogy. And I even like the prequels, except for Attack of the Clones. That's the worst Star Wars movie ever. And so then, because of my love of Darth Vader, the whole Jedi and Sith side of the Star Wars story has honestly always been the most interesting part to me. It's always kind of what has drawn me to a Star Wars story. So anything in the past that has dealt with the non-Jedi side of things, so honestly anyone who does not have a lightsaber, I honestly have not really cared for those characters. Honestly, Han Solo was never really a drawing character for me. It was always like Luke and Darth Vader, so anything that did not have to deal with a Jedi or a Sith, I was honestly not very interested in. So when the show The Mandalorian, a show about a bounty hunter, was announced, I honestly was not very interested in it at all, but due to it being Star Wars, of course I watched it, and I was honestly blown away by how good this show is. I honestly like The Mandalorian better than any Jedi character that has existed in previous Star Wars lore. That's how good, and this show is only 2 episodes in. That's how good this show is. Now, coming back to my comment before about the Sith and Jedi characters being my only favorite Star Wars characters, I will admit that as a little kid, I loved the toys of Boba Fett and Jango Fett. I actually never had a toy of Boba from what I can remember, but I definitely did have a toy of Jango Fett from when Episode 2 came out, and that was one of my favorite Star Wars toys. I remember you could take like his helmet off and you could see his face underneath. I just thought that was really cool. And I always thought Boba Fett looked really cool as well. I mean, me and millions of other Star Wars fans. But you never got to see Boba Fett in action. That's the whole thing about his character, honestly, is that he looks really cool and looks like he could do a whole lot. But unless you've read the comics and have read some of the Star Wars books, people haven't gotten to see Boba Fett do much of anything in the Star Wars movies. But what's really cool about the character of the Mandalorian is that he looks just like Boba Fett, has the same style armor, and he's done more in just 2 episodes than Boba Fett did in all of the Star Wars movies. That's how cool he is. I mean, you've gotten to see him fight with hand-to-hand combat, you've gotten to see him use his blasters, you've gotten to see him use flamethrowers and everything. This dude is amazing. Now, what else I find very interesting about this show so far is the level of mystery that it has added to the show so far. Spoiler alert for those who have not seen the show already. So basically what it surrounds itself around so far is that the character of the Mandalorian is hired to do this mysterious bounty quest. He has to capture this mysterious package from this heavily guarded fortress. And so when he gets there, he's greeted by another bounty hunter, this droid. And they fight these waves of soldiers to get into this bunker. This is all in the first episode. And once they finally get inside, they see the Baby Yoda inside of there. I'm sure, I mean, it's hard for me to even spoil this at this point because the memes are just everywhere on social media right now, just due to how cute this guy is. But what's very interesting is that it's very mysterious to what the kind of species that Yoda, the original Yoda from the original Star Wars movies, even is. Because out of all the Star Wars books, comics, and movies that have been out so far, we still know little to nothing about the background of the character of Yoda, or even where he comes from. So yeah, knowing little to nothing about even the original Yoda, now there's this brand new little baby one. And this thing is 50 years old and it looks like an infant. This is crazy! What even adds further to this layer of mystery, I mean, people wondering where this Yoda came from, is what purpose does he serve? Because, I mean, he was heavily guarded by waves of soldiers in this first episode. I mean, the first episode ends with this amazing action set piece of the Mandalorian and then the droid IG-11 in this huge shootout with all of them, and they finally get inside and then find this thing. And then the second episode is all about the Mandalorian then protecting this little baby. And everybody and their sister is just out to get this baby, whether to kill it or to capture it. So it seems like there was multiple bounties that were set on this thing. So it makes you wonder, what purpose does this baby serve? Why is he here? And then it's even revealed in the second episode that this baby has the Force, just like the original Yoda. So the mystery behind it is very, very, very cool. I haven't felt this intrigued into a show ever since the first season of Stranger Things, because you just kept wanting to watch more and more to find out what was going on, because in Stranger Things you wanted to find out what happened to Will in each episode. It was all about the mystery surrounding the child of Will, and then in this show now it's all surrounding the mystery of the child of the baby Yoda. So, and then the Mandalorian is acting as the protector of this child, so that way he can get it to its destination. So the mystery behind the Mandalorian himself is really cool, because you haven't even seen this guy without his helmet yet. You know little to nothing about his background, and yet this guy is tasked with protecting this child and delivering it to where it needs to go. So I honestly think that is just really cool. So throughout the show together, I feel like both him and the baby are going to get to know each other more. And I feel like it's going to be like a father and son style role. They're both going to grow into well-developed characters and get to know each other very well. So I just find that very interesting. And all around, this show is just very well done. Very well scripted. Very well choreographed. The fight scenes. The music is fantastic. This theme song is one of the coolest theme songs I've ever heard. I mean, not just in Star Wars, but in just recent cinema, even. Like, I've been listening to this track, the theme song from the show, even as a gym track when I'm going to work out. It gets the blood flowing. It gets that good pump going, you know? Another thing I really like about this show is just the overall setup, and I guess the marketing of the show, if you will. I really like that that Disney, with the style of this show, is that they're uploading each episode on a weekly basis. Kind of like old school cable TV, where you have to tune in every week to see the latest episodes. I know with Netflix, especially with their original shows, they tend to just kind of throw all of the episodes on there all at once on launch day. And so that way I know a lot of people can then just binge all of the episodes and upload all of the spoilers online instantly. And that can get kind of annoying sometimes for people like me who are just saturated into all of this pop culture media stuff. What I really like about this is that everyone is just kind of subjected and forced to watch each episode one by one, and are just kind of finding out all of the details slowly, collectively. So I kind of like that, because it's kind of bringing the whole internet and the whole Star Wars community together, because as each episode is uploaded, everyone starts speculating about what's going to happen in the next episode. It gets people talking and everything. So I just think it's like a really fun, just Star Wars community thing, and I just think it's really smart on their end, because it gets the attention of the show going for a lot longer than as opposed to them just throwing all of the episodes on at once. Because I think the show's going to end in mid to late December, and then by the time the show ends, we have a new Star Wars movie, The Rise of Skywalker, that's going to be in theaters. So they're really being smart and strategic with how they're drawing out the Star Wars news. So, I mean, it's going to get people talking about Star Wars until the end of the year, and even until next year. So, Disney, they're being smart. So yeah, The Mandalorian, only 2 episodes in, and I'm already going to have to rate this show probably like 9.5 out of 10. That's how good the show is so far. Like I said, well scripted, well acted, beautiful music, beautiful cinematography, and whether you're a Star Wars fan or not, especially to the people who aren't Star Wars fans, even if you're just a fan of sci-fi as it is, you literally have to know. You don't have to know like anything about the previous movies, just besides the fact that Yoda was a character, and even people who don't watch Star Wars know who Yoda is. I would recommend for you to watch this show. That's just how good the show is. You need to watch this. So yeah, I've just kind of blabbed on with a stream of consciousness about what I think of this show so far for about, 10 minutes now already? Now, you guys got to hear what I think. I would love to hear what you think. What have you thought of the show so far? What do you think of Disney Plus, the streaming service so far? What shows and movies are you guys enjoying on there? And if you have any recommendations for shows and movies for me and my family to watch, I'd absolutely love to hear them. Let me know what you think about The Mandalorian, whether you love it or even if you don't like it. Let me know what are some of the things that you don't like about the show. What are some of your speculations, fan theories about what you think are going to happen to him and the Baby Yoda later on in the show. Be sure to let me know what you think down in those comments below. And if you liked my video today, I would certainly love if you supported the channel and gave me a like and subscribed. And be sure to tap that bell below to get all the latest notifications from McGady's Entertainment. This has been Adam McGahey with McGady's Entertainment. Thank you guys so much for watching. God bless, and I will see you guys in the next one. Catch you later.